Hello, Internet. I'm me. And, yeah, again, I'm late. Just by, uh, just by about 24 hours. But, I'm here for the Gokaiger episode 33 and Kamen Rider Fourze episode 6. I think. I keep forgetting. Kamen Rider Fourze. Let me just do what I did last time, pretty much. I'm just gonna give you guys an overview of what happened in my judgment, and then give you the episodes and let you guys decide whether or not that the episodes were worthy of my rating or not. If it wasn't worthy of my rating, comment below and call me a dumbass. Trust me, I won't mind. If it's perfectly fine, then cool, whatever. I don't know. Anywho, Kamen Rider Fourze in episode 6. We're gonna start with that one. Kamen Rider Fourze in episode 6 is introducing the electric form or elect form of Kamen Rider Fourze. Even though uh this episode has a bad case of what I call the storm ship troopers. Uh or it usually works with aliens because it's the syndrome in movies, or in shows in this case, where the enemy is so powerful and so damn good that later on you go ahead, like they establish there's that one weak spot that you can hit that would kill the enemy like nothing. And when you hit it, it perfectly kills them, no matter what. And somehow throughout the movie, after they announce that one weak spot, somehow, like, all the heroes' bullets and swords all end up hitting that one weak spot, even if they're not hitting anywhere near close. And they end up dead. It's a quick and cheap way to get somebody through the movie. And Kamen Rider Fourze kind of does the same thing on this. And I'm going to skip the whole rest of the episode because we all know how it ends. He gets the elect form, JK is forgiven, and he joins the Kamen Rider Club. There. I just saved you about 22 minutes. But the elect form is pretty cool. It's a lot better of a design than the base form, but the power is kind of lame. Okay, at first you have the normal, and he has three modes for this. And he has, like, he has the first plug that is he strikes you with the lightning, with the it's called the Billy the Rod, and you hit him with he hits you with Billy the Rod and it shocks you. Simple. Second setting is he is actually able to project lightning strikes off of Billy the Rod as projectiles. Pretty freaking cool. Third setting is he's actually able to wrap you around in electricity and smash you around. Again, really cool. But where this episode really falls is this episode is literally here just to build up Billy the Rod. And once he finally gets into this form, and I mean, the other three settings are pretty cool. You're okay with it. But then he and then the final attack is nothing but a normal sword strike, and you're kind of like, that's it. You had electricity that could bind people, electric shots, and that's how you win it. And the thing is, I thought it was going to end. I thought the final attack was going to be what you see in the opening, because they had a new opening. They added the Billy the Rod form in there, and what in the opening he actually strikes the ground and creates this giant electric wave, which I thought was pretty badass. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see it, and it didn't deliver. But if you want to know more about this episode, I'll just run right through it. It's the day after JK's party, and Kamen Rider. Actually, no. It starts where Kamen Rider Forze's getting his ass kicked, and then the unicorns Zodiart leaves for some reason. I really don't care. After a while, this just becomes routine. Uh, he leaves, and then he comes back, kidnaps, or like no, threatens JK's friends, and then kidnaps JK after a fight with Kamen Rider Fourze and whatever. Since he gets away, it really doesn't matter, these fights, and that's the one thing I've never really liked about some some of these tokusatsu fights, especially in shows, you have these battles that go completely nowhere because, and this happens in the Super Sentai too, don't get me wrong, but these battles that serve almost no purpose except for to say, well, I tried, and then leave. But actually, I like this battle because I just remembered the battle with where JK is there, and why we learn why the Unicorn Zodiac wants revenge on him. We actually figure out that JK, well, we already knew, but Kisarigi figures out that, oh crap, you had my switch, you had the elect switch. What the hell, man? And he decides to save him anyway, even though he's an asshole. JK is an asshole, but whatever. Forgiveness. This is the most forgiving high school students I've ever met. All right, but pretty much it ends, and a thing I've been noticing in these last few episodes is that they've kind of left that whole you have to hit the Zodiarts into space and finish them off. They've left that completely out. They've kind of he can just finish them off in any way he can. It doesn't really matter. But whatever. I would go into more detail to this, but there's some there. But again, it all boils down to that whole how a character who is so strong. I mean, you have this unicorn Zodiac who uses his horn like a fencing sword. The person controlling it was a fencer for years. He's good at fencing. So for Kamen Rider Fourze and Kisarigi controlling Kamen Rider Fourze, who doesn't have any sword training or initial fencing abilities, to be able to beat him in a sword-to-sword clash very easily is almost unbelievable and kind of stupid. But the rest of the episode is fine. The acting is pretty good. I liked some of the special effects. They're kind of getting a little cheapy cheesy. But other than that, I'm cool with it. The new form looks great. Better than the base form. And it ends like every other Kamen Rider Fourze episode, or after two episodes ends, with the whole happy, yay, we're all together and somebody else is here. I have a feeling that this show is actually trying to get all the main characters into the Kamen Rider Club before they start moving on with the real plot, which I'm kind of not liking, but if they pulled it off later on in the series, I'll really love it. For now, I give this episode an 8 out of 10. Pretty good, but not awe-inspiring and nothing you really need to go out for. But the electric form is kind of cool. Now, on to Kamen Rider... Kamen Rider, I'm sorry. Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, episode 33. This is a Die Ranger episode. Why am I so excited? Because I love the Die Ranger. The Die Ranger was like, it's my favorite Sentai team ever. And for them to get a tribute episode, which I wish was a two-parter, but it's not. For them to get an episode is fucking amazing. And this episode does not disappoint too much, actually. The plot in here is, of course, the Zengeist have sent out an action general, and this one has the plan of stealing all the Earth's food by eating it. And when he eats all the Earth's food, we'll starve, and then we'll go to the Zengeist for help. Again, pretty good plan if it was executed a little better. Except for just that one guy trying to eat everything. Why not send out like multiple? But, I don't care. But, yeah, he eats, in a fight, he eats Guy's mobilizer. And Guy can't henshin anymore. And he feels discouraged by this because, well, finally he got to be a hero, but now he can't transform anymore. On his way of moping around, he runs into the Red Ranger. Joseph said, Red! Oh! Sorry. I'm gonna go fanboy on you on this one because Die Ranger was just like such a part of me that it's really what got me into martial arts. So, and I've been doing martial arts for like 11 years. So, that might... But and he's and this was another episode where I love the whole an old Sentai member is helping out a new Sentai member, and this episode he's helping Guy get out of this I can't henshin rut. Since he can't henshin, he thinks himself useless, even though he's they actually do pull out the fact that yeah, originally when you had no power, you saved some guys from the construction site. You saved the little girl from a car. You've put yourself in the hospital to save people without having the powers. And that's how you gain the powers. And he gets out of that rut because he's been with the Gokaiger for a really long time now. And now he's kind of like, yeah, I am cool. And I can do it without it. And they have this awesome fight with these two, no henshin, badass fight. And as much as I hate to admit it, the Red Ranger is getting old, but he can still do the roll call, and that's fucking awesome. But the only thing I have to complain about this episode, okay, I have two things to complain about this episode, really. One, okay, three. Sorry. Okay, one is the villain. The villain was kind of silly, but then again, so was Dairanger. It was a little silly. But I remember the first monster freaked the hell out of me when I was a kid. The one with the yo-yo was like, so I don't know, like, ugh. He just was like that singing just was creepy as fuck to me. Um, the the whole thing about actually the Dairanger Henshin fight. They henshin into the Dairanger and begin to fight, but it's not as good as the other fights, which is kind of disappointing. I wish it was a little better or had the feeling of at least the O Ranger, but it did have a great score of the original Dairanger theme playing in the background. That did pump me up pretty much, so that's not too big of a complaint, but I did wish they did a little better. And the third thing is the power, the ultimate power. What is with okay, this is Geki Ranger and now Dai Ranger. Are all the martial arts based Sentai gonna get jibbed on this because they get no mechs. All they get is like a blast, like a little blast, and that's it. I mean, it was a cool thing, but I mean, I was expecting at least with the Dai Ranger, that Dai Ranger, one of the classic Sentais, to get at least a mech. Or like a mini mech or something like that, like the little shinobi thing they got from the Hurricaneer. Why not something like that? Because the Dire Ranger were fucking awesome. I wanted that dragon to come back. I wanted that fucking dragon that the Red Ranger used to ride on to come back and kick ass. And those are my three complaints. And honestly, because I love this episode so much, so mostly solely because I love the Dire Ranger, out of my fanboy base, I have to give this episode a 9 out of 10. For normal base, I'd give it about an 8.5 out of 10. Not amazing, but still pretty freaking good. Um, Remember that all these episodes are subbed and in the description, and I actually hope that these episodes get better and better. Gokaiger is still going on strong and has actually been rumored to go on to 50 episodes, which I can easily see. And Kamen Rider Fourze, I'm still giving the benefit of the doubt because it is not even on its 10th episode yet. And it seems like it's trying to build itself up and not try to blow its load right before it can get anywhere, which is probably a good sign. So, until next time, guys, peace.